You're listening to the Hoofcare Companion, the podcast dedicated to the science, art and practicalities of keeping horses sound from the ground up. I'm your host, Mark Jerram, and each episode will take a deep dive into the world of hoof anatomy, pathology, care and rehabilitation. Whether you're a farrier, veterinarian, therapist or simply passionate about horse health, this is your space to learn, question and grow. We'll explore the latest research, time-tested methods and real-world case studies to help you better understand the structures beneath the hoof capsule and how to support them when things go wrong. Because good hoof care isn't just about trimming and shoeing, it's about understanding the whole horse. So let's get stuck into today's topic. Episode 16, Hoof Care for the Dressage Horse.
Introduction.
The shoeing of a dressage horse represents one of the most refined and intellectually demanding areas of modern farriery. It requires not only a deep understanding of hoof anatomy and biomechanics, but also an appreciation of equine athletic performance at the highest level. The dressage horse is asked to perform movements that demand exceptional balance, engagement, cadence and symmetry. These demands place unique stresses on the musculoskeletal system, and the farrier plays a critical role in supporting the horse's ability to perform while maintaining long-term soundness. A methodical, evidence-based and collaborative approach is essential in order to meet the expectations of both horse and rider.
Dressage classes in the United Kingdom.
Dressage in the United Kingdom is structured into a series of progressive levels that begin at introductory level and culminate in Grand Prix. At introductory level, the horse is expected to demonstrate basic rhythm, relaxation and willingness to move forward. Movements are limited to walk and trot with large circles and changes of rein. As the horse progresses into preliminary and novice levels, canter is introduced, along with more demanding transitions and basic lateral work such as leg yield. Elementary and medium levels require increased engagement, collection and the introduction of movements such as shoulder in and simple changes. Advanced medium and advanced levels develop further collection and introduce flying changes, pirouettes and more complex lateral work. At the pinnacle, Grand Prix demands the highest degree of collection and athleticism, including piaffe, passage, tempi changes and full pirouettes. Each of these levels places progressively greater biomechanical demands on the horse. At lower levels, the focus is on straightness and rhythm with relatively low limb loading forces. At higher levels, the requirement for collection shifts the centre of mass rearward, increasing loading on the hind limbs and requiring greater flexion of the joints. The forelimbs, meanwhile, must elevate and articulate with precision, particularly in movements such as passage. The farrier must therefore adapt shoeing strategies to the level at which the horse is working, recognising that a Grand Prix horse will require a different approach to an introductory level horse.
Breeds and types associated with dressage.
The breeds and types associated with dressage have evolved over time, with warm bloods now dominating the discipline. These horses are typically bred for expressive movement, elastic gaits and a predisposition for collection. They often possess large frames, powerful hindquarters and relatively upright limb conformation. Thoroughbreds and their crosses also play a role, particularly at lower levels, offering lighter frames and greater endurance. Native breeds and cobs may participate successfully, particularly at grassroots levels, although their conformation may present different farriery challenges. The farrier must recognise that each type presents unique hoof characteristics. Warm bloods may have large, open feet with flatter soles, while thoroughbreds may present with thinner soles and more fragile hoof walls. These differences must be considered when selecting trimming and shoeing strategies.
Biomechanics of dressage movements.
Understanding the movements performed in dressage is fundamental to effective farriery. Counter-canter, for example, requires the horse to maintain canter on the outside lead, while travelling in a direction that would normally favour the inside lead. This challenges balance and places asymmetrical loading on the limbs. Shoulder in requires the horse to travel with the shoulders displaced inward, increasing the loading on the inside hind and outside fore. Piaffe and passage demand extreme engagement of the hind limbs and elevation of the forelimbs, with rapid alternation of limb loading. Pirouettes require the horse to turn around the hindquarters, placing significant rotational forces through the limbs and hooves. Each of these movements creates specific mechanical stresses that must be accommodated by the hoof and supported by appropriate shoeing.
Thorough assessment of the dressage horse.
A thorough assessment of a dressage horse begins long before the foot is lifted. The farrier must observe the horse at rest, evaluating overall conformation, limb alignment and posture. Particular attention should be paid to the relationship between the hoof capsule and the limb above. Any deviations such as toe in or toe out, base narrow or base wide stance, or angular limb deformities must be noted. The condition of the hoof capsule itself should be assessed, including wall quality, sole depth, frog health, and the presence of any pathology such as cracks or white line disease. The farrier must also consider the horse's history, including previous lameness, current workload, and the surfaces on which the horse is trained and competed.
Static assessment.
Static assessment of the horse provides valuable information about limb alignment and weight distribution. The horse should be stood square on a firm level surface. The farrier should observe the horse from the front, side and rear, noting any asymmetry in limb loading. The hoof pastern axis should be evaluated to determine whether it is straight, broken forward or broken back. Mediolateral balance should be assessed by examining the relationship between the coronary band and the ground. The farrier must also palpate the limbs and feet, assessing digital pulses, temperature and any areas of sensitivity.
Dynamic assessment.
Dynamic assessment is equally important as it reveals how the horse moves and loads its limbs during locomotion. The horse should be observed at walk and trot on a straight line and on a circle, both on hard and soft surfaces. The farrier should look for signs of uneven stride length, irregular foot placement, or asymmetrical limb loading. Particular attention should be paid to the timing of footfall and breakover, as these can indicate imbalances within the hoof. Observing the horse under saddle can also provide valuable insights, particularly for higher level dressage horses, as it allows the farrier to see how the horse performs specific movements.
Gait analysis systems in farriery.
In recent years, gait analysis systems have become increasingly valuable tools in farriery. These systems use sensors and high-speed cameras to provide objective data on limb movement, loading patterns and symmetry. For the dressage horse, this information can be invaluable in identifying subtle imbalances that may not be visible to the naked eye. For example, a gait analysis system may reveal a slight asymmetry in limb loading in walk or trot, indicating a need for adjustment in hoof balance. The farrier can use this data to make more informed decisions, working in conjunction with the rider and veterinary team to optimize performance.
Hoof trimming methods.
Hoof trimming is the foundation of effective shoeing. The aim is to create a balanced, functional hoof that supports the limb and allows efficient movement. The farrier must establish correct dorsopalmar or plantar and mediolateral balance, ensuring that the hoof is aligned with the limb and that weight is distributed evenly. Excessive toe length should be reduced to facilitate efficient breakover while maintaining adequate heel support. Care must be taken to preserve sole depth and avoid over-trimming, particularly in horses with thin soles. The frog should be maintained in a healthy functional state as it plays a key role in shock absorption and circulation within the hoof. In dressage horses, particular attention must be paid to symmetry between the left and right limbs. Even small discrepancies in hoof balance can lead to asymmetrical movement, which may be penalised in competition and can predispose the horse to injury. The farrier must therefore strive for consistency in trimming, while also recognising and accommodating the natural asymmetries present in every horse.
Types of surfaces in UK dressage.
Dressage horses in the United Kingdom typically compete on artificial surfaces such as wax sand, fibre sand and synthetic blends. These surfaces are designed to provide consistent footing, cushioning and controlled traction. However, variations in maintenance and composition can influence surface properties. Surface characteristics affect hoof loading and traction requirements. Softer surfaces may reduce concussion but increase strain on soft tissues, while firmer surfaces may increase impact forces. The farrier must consider these factors when selecting shoes, ensuring appropriate grip without excessive resistance.
Types of shoes for dressage horses.
The choice of shoe is influenced by a range of factors, including the horse's level of work, hoof quality, and the surfaces on which it competes. In the United Kingdom, dressage is typically performed on surfaces such as wax sand, fibre sand, and synthetic arenas. These surfaces provide varying degrees of cushioning and traction, which must be considered when selecting a shoe. On softer surfaces, a lighter shoe with minimal traction, such as an 8mm flat 3/4 fullered shoe, may be appropriate, while on firmer surfaces, additional grip such as concave shoes may be required. A wide range of shoe types are available for dressage horses. Wide webs are commonly used, providing a balance of support and preventing descent of the hoof and limb into the arena surface. For horses requiring additional support, bar shoes may be used to stabilise the hoof capsule and distribute weight more evenly. Egg bar shoes can provide additional support to the heel region, which may be beneficial in horses with camped under hind limb conformation. Heart bar shoes may be used in cases where frog support is required, such as low weak heels, although their use must be carefully managed. The use of pads and packing materials may also be considered, particularly in horses with thin soles or those working on hard surfaces. These can provide additional cushioning and protect the sole from bruising, particularly on the firmer arena surfaces. Additionally, wide branch shoes can be applied to horses with asymmetrical loading of the hoof, with the welded in wide branch insert of the shoe providing flotation on an arena surface on the side of the hoof, experiencing compression. Careful evaluation of the horse's movement should take place before such shoes are applied.
Barefoot management in dressage horses.
Barefoot management is an area of growing interest within the equine industry, and some dressage horses can be successfully managed without shoes. This is more commonly seen at lower levels, where the demands on the horse are less extreme. Barefoot management requires careful attention to trimming, diet and environment, as well as a gradual transition period. The farrier must assess whether the horse has sufficient hoof quality and resilience to perform barefoot, and must work closely with the owner to ensure that the horse's needs are met.
Collaboration with veterinary physiotherapists.
Collaboration with other professionals is essential in the management of the dressage horse. Veterinary surgeons play a key role in diagnosing and treating lameness, while physiotherapists can help to address muscular imbalances and improve performance. The farrier must work closely with these professionals, sharing information and coordinating treatment plans. For example, a physiotherapist may identify a restriction in the horse's movement that could be alleviated through adjustments in hoof balance. Similarly, a veterinarian may recommend specific shoeing strategies as part of a treatment plan for a particular condition. In addition to technical considerations, the farrier must also take into account the practical aspects of working with dressage horses. These horses are often highly trained and sensitive, requiring careful handling and a calm, methodical approach. The farrier must be able to work efficiently and safely, minimising stress for both horse and handler. Attention to detail is paramount, as even minor imperfections in shoeing can have a significant impact on performance.
Additional practical considerations.
The importance of regular shoeing intervals cannot be overstated. Dressage horses are typically shod every 4 to 6 weeks, although this may vary depending on the individual horse and its workload. Regular shoeing allows the farrier to maintain hoof balance and address any issues before they become significant problems. It also provides an opportunity to reassess the horse and make any necessary adjustments to the shoeing plan. Nutrition also plays a crucial role in hoof health and should not be overlooked. A balanced diet that provides adequate levels of essential nutrients is essential for maintaining strong, healthy hooves. Deficiencies in key nutrients such as biotin, zinc, and amino acids can lead to poor hoof quality and increased susceptibility to damage. The farrier should be aware of the horse's diet and may need to work with a nutritionist to address any deficiencies. Environmental management is another important factor. The conditions in which the horse is kept can have a significant impact on hoof health. Excessively wet or dry conditions can weaken the hoof and increase the risk of cracks and other problems. The farrier should advise the owner on best practices for managing the horse's environment, including stable hygiene and turnout conditions.
Conclusion.
In conclusion, shoeing the dressage horse is a complex and multifaceted task that requires a high level of skill, knowledge and attention to detail. The farrier must consider a wide range of factors, from the horse's conformation and the level of work to the surfaces on which it competes and the movements it performs. A thorough assessment, combined with a sound understanding of biomechanics and effective collaboration with other professionals, is essential in order to support the horse's performance and maintain its long-term soundness. By adopting a methodical and evidence-based approach, the farrier can play a vital role in enabling the dressage horse to reach its full potential. If you would like to learn more about hoof care, then visit thefarrier.co.uk, an educational platform created to deepen understanding of hoof health, farriery science and equine soundness. This website brings together practical experience, academic insight and real-world application, designed for farriers, veterinarians, students and horse owners who want to go beyond surface level knowledge and truly understand how the hoof functions as part of the whole horse. Within the articles section of thefarrier.co.uk, you will find a growing library of long-form educational content covering both foundational and advanced topics in farriery. These articles explore the structure and function of the hoof wall, sole, frog and internal anatomy, explaining how each component contributes to load bearing, shock absorption and movement. More advanced articles examine balance, limb alignment, hoof pastern axis and the biomechanical consequences of trimming and shoeing decisions over time. There is also a strong focus on pathology and prevention. Topics such as laminitis, lameness and poor performance are discussed from a farriery perspective, placing hoof care within the wider context of systemic health, management and veterinary collaboration. These articles are written to encourage critical thinking, helping readers understand not just what to do, but why they are doing it. At the heart of the farrier.co.uk is the Hoofcare Companion, a comprehensive hardback book authored by Mark Jerram. This book is designed as a long-term reference rather than a quick read. It brings together decades of professional experience, detailed explanations and high-quality imagery to guide readers through hoof anatomy, balance, pathology and practical decision-making. Whether you are a professional or a committed horse owner, this book is intended to build confidence, understanding and consistency in hoof care. In addition to education, the farrier.co.uk offers professional consultation services. These consultations provide in-depth assessment of hoof balance, movement and long-term soundness using modern gait analysis and measurement tools. Consultations can be used to support rehabilitation cases, performance horses or those with ongoing soundness concerns, offering clear guidance and objective monitoring over time. Whether you're here to learn, to refine your skills or to seek professional insight for your horse, the farrier.co.uk exists to support informed decisions, better outcomes and healthier hooves for the long term. Thank you for listening to the Hoofcare Companion. Please follow, rate and share this podcast on your social media to help the Hoofcare Companion grow and reach all of those who care for our equine friends all around the world. Visit the links in the show notes to obtain your copy of my books or to interact on my social media channels. Until next time, thank you for listening, because a healthy hoof is a happy horse.